Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ashley and I am so super excited to be doing this video today. This is the fantasy cart at Sephora, basically giving yourself $1,000 of fictitious money to buy whatever it is your little heart desires with no consequences. Who doesn't love the idea of shopping with no consequences? Sign me up. Anyway. This was created by Emily Noel. She's one of the OGs here in the beauty community on YouTube, and if you somehow have not seen her, I will link that original video up in the cards here because it's just so much fun, and she is just a lovely, lovely person who does a lot of really informative reviews and a lot of just really great content, so definitely check her out. But she kind of sat down and said, okay, if I had $1,000 and I could just buy anything, what would I buy? And I find that so interesting, especially with larger YouTubers, because they've tried so many things from so many different brands, everything from drugstore to luxury items. So if you just had $1,000 to spend, I find that pretty fascinating. So I thought, you know what, even though nobody asked me, I'm gonna do it too. Anyway, so let's go ahead and jump in what's in my fantasy cart. So the first thing that I did was I went immediately to my loves list to say, okay, what is it that I would put in here? And the very first thing that I added to my fantasy cart is the Natasha Denona Gold Palette. Now, I have been just lusting after that palette since it launched. I've had it in my loves list for well over a year. I mean, it's been there for ages, and I just haven't gotten myself to the point where I'm willing to spend the $129 price tag for it. But gosh, she's pretty, and if I had free money, you best believe I would bring her home with me. In addition, on the eyeshadow sort of train, I also would buy the newest Pat McGrath Mothership 8, the Divine Rose 2 palette. I know everybody's going bananas over it, and I would totally buy it because it's a stunning palette, but it's $125, and that's a lot of money. So that would immediately go into my cart as well. There's also a perfume that has been on my loves list, gosh, for longer than that Natasha Denona Gold palette, and it is the Replica by the Fireplace. I've gone through a couple of the little samples and I just love it so much, but it's $130 and I just haven't brought myself to do that yet. And that's when it really sort of hit me. Everything that's on my loves list is something that I'm trying to get myself to the mental point where I can say, yes, I'll go ahead and spend that money. But this is a fantasy cart. So what are some of the items that I would not ever get to the point in my brain where I'd be like, I can go ahead and I can spend that money? And so I went immediately to Tom Ford. It is so crazy overpriced, but it is so pretty. So Alana Davidson talks about his quads quite frequently, and it makes me want to try them. And so I would definitely pick up Pretty Baby. Now, it's an $88 eyeshadow quad. That's nuts. But this is my fantasy self. My fantasy self would totally spend $88 on this stunning quad. Also, from Tom Ford, everybody talks about his brushes. Like, they are just next level amazing. And especially the Tom Ford bronzer brush. I think that's the one that gets talked about the most. So my fantasy self would also pick that up. That is $115, which is nutso. But that's okay, because that's kind of the point, right? So after Tom Ford, and thinking about some of these really high-end sort of areas, I also jumped over to Charlotte Tilbury. Now, I do have a couple of things from Charlotte Tilbury, but everything that she has is at that sort of luxury sort of price point, and so that's why I immediately went there next. And one of the things that I would definitely pick up would be the Film Star Bronze and Glow Duo that is just a cult favorite. I see so many people just absolutely loving it and keeping it in a holy grail status, and I'll be honest, I would love to try it. Fantasy Self and Real Self would love to have that item, but it's $68. It doesn't make the cut even during the Sephora sale. So in my fantasy life, I would pick it up totally. In addition to that, her eyeshadow quads. Again, it's something that I don't know if I can in real life pull the trigger on, because they are, how much? Yeah, they're $53. So better than the Tom Ford. But for 4 eyeshadows, that's still a lot of money. But I would pick up the Style Rebel. These gorgeous khaki shades are something that I absolutely love. And I never really see anybody talk about that particular color style. Usually it's Pillow Talk, which in its own right is stunning, and some of the other warmer quads and things like that. But Rebel really speaks to me. I would also pick up the under eye face powder, her Genius under eye and face. Sorry, I said that weird. That is $45, and I have heard nothing but fantastic things about it, and so I would really like to try it. So that would go into my fantasy cart as well. I would also pick up from Guerlain, which is fun to say. I would pick up their Meteorite Primer Perfecting Pearls. I just think it's a really fun concept. I think I saw this product on the Makeup Breakup where they like pumped it all out and burst all the little beads. If not this particular product, something very similar to it. It just looks really pretty and really fun, and I would pay $74 for it in my fantasy life. I would also pick up the Hourglass powder brush. Again, when their powder launched, it launched with this brush, and everybody was talking about how fantastic it was. Both the powder and the brush as kind of a set, but I would totally pick up that brush. So the Hourglass Veil Powder Brush is $64. Again, me in my real life can't spend that much on a single brush, but Fantasy Ashley would be all about it. In addition, I would also pick up from Patrick Ta. I don't have anything that's a newer brand to Sephora, but some really fun stuff has launched from it. But for some reason, the thing that speaks to me the most are the lip crayons. They're basically lip liners, which to me is strange because I don't really use lip liners. But these keep calling to me, and it's probably the packaging because it's gorgeous. So I would pick up one of those in the shade She's Not From Here. It's this beautiful fiery orangey red, which I'm all for. I love a good fiery orange red lip. Stunning. Love it. So I would definitely pick that up. That is $26. And then also something that's a little bit more attainable, I guess, from Kate Somerville, the goat milk cream. I've been wanting to try that for a while. I've heard really, really good things about Kate Somerville in general, but also the goat milk line. So I would totally pick that up. It is $65, which is definitely a bitter pill to swallow, which is why Real Life Ashley has not purchased that, but Fantasy Ashley would. So once we have all of those, we had $18 left. And Fantasy Ashley, as well as, well, Real Life Ashley when she's got a gift card, wants to use every single penny. So I looked around for anything that I was interested in for $18, and what I landed on was the Caudalie Beauty Elixir Mini, which is $18. That is like a throwback product that people on YouTube just absolutely went crazy for a really long time. It's super expensive, and these days a lot of people just say it's fancy pants water, but dang it, I want to try the fancy pants water. So the final $18 would go to that. So that is how I would spend $1,000 if someone just said, hey, go nuts, buy whatever you want, here's your cap. I hope that was interesting for you. For me, it was a lot of fun to kind of sit down and just play on the Sephora app and window shop, so to speak. I'm interested to know, have you done this video, this tag? And if so, let me know, what was the most crazy fantasy thing that you signed up for on this? I'm absolutely fascinated to know. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope that you're having an amazing day, and I will see you next time. Bye.